I always knew I was meant for something big. Something extraordinary. It wasn't just a childish dream, nor was it the fleeting fantasy of a little girl mesmerized by the glow of the television screen. No. It was a knowing, a deep-seated truth woven into the very fabric of my soul. From as early as I can remember, I would stand in front of the mirror, practicing acceptance speeches, clutching a hairbrush like it was an Oscar. My parents would chuckle, entertained but doubtful. "It's a tough industry, Elly," my mother would say, her voice laced with concern. My father, always the practical one, urged me to have a real plan. But none of it mattered. I saw it. I felt it. And in my mind, it was already mine. But as I grew older, reality waged war against my certainty. Rejections piled up, dreams dimmed, and my once unwavering belief in my destiny began to wane. I moved to Los Angeles at 18, bright-eyed and hopeful, only to be met with an industry that didn't care about my certainty. Casting calls led to nothing, connections were scarce, and self-doubt took root like a stubborn weed in my mind. Then, everything changed. I was scrolling aimlessly through YouTube one evening, nursing yet another rejection email, when I stumbled upon a video by Dr. Joe Dispenza. The title read, "Rewire Your Brain and Manifest Your Future." The words struck a chord deep within me, as if they had been placed there by some cosmic force to wake me up. I clicked. I listened. And for the first time in years, I felt something shift. His words were electric. He spoke of the quantum field, of how our thoughts create our reality, of how the brain cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined if we immerse ourselves fully. He explained that we are conditioned by our past, by our environment, and by our limiting beliefs, but we could break free. We could become new. I devoured every piece of content I could find. Books, podcasts, interviews, I submerged myself in his teachings, desperate to rewire my mind. And then, I committed. Every morning, before the world awoke, I would sit in meditation, eyes closed, heart open. I imagined myself on set, the blinding lights, the exhilarating rush of performance, the director calling my name. I felt the weight of awards in my hands, the warmth of the applause washing over me. I practiced gratitude as if it had already happened. And something miraculous began to occur. Auditions that once seemed impossible to land started coming my way. Doors that had long been locked swung open effortlessly. People entered my life at just the right moments, guiding me, supporting me. It wasn't magic, it was alignment. One day, after months of this unwavering practice, I received a call that changed everything. It was my agent, breathless with excitement. "Elly, you won't believe this. They loved you. They loved you. You got the lead." I didn't cry. I didn't scream. Instead, I smiled, because I already knew. I had seen it, I had felt it, and now, it was here. From that moment on, my career skyrocketed. I worked with directors I had once only dreamed of meeting. My face graced magazine covers. And when I finally stood on that grand stage, golden statue in hand, I looked out at the sea of faces and whispered, "Thank you." Because I had already lived this moment 1,000 times before it happened. Because I had become the future before it arrived. Because I knew. But my journey didn't end there. Success wasn't a finish line, it was a continuous evolution. As I stepped further into the limelight, I realized that staying in alignment required just as much dedication as reaching my dreams. There were challenges I hadn't anticipated. The pressure of fame. The scrutiny. The expectation to always be perfect, always deliver. There were days when my belief wavered, when the noise of the world tried to drown out my inner knowing. I faced moments of imposter syndrome, wondering if I was truly worthy of everything I had manifested. But I returned to the teachings. I doubled down on my meditations, visualizations, and gratitude. I reminded myself that I was the creator of my reality. That I had become this version of myself long before the world saw it. New dreams took shape. I wanted to produce, to tell stories that mattered, to create roles for others who, like me, once stood in front of their mirrors dreaming of the impossible. And so, I did. I manifested production deals, opportunities to collaborate with the very people who had once been my idols. And through it all, I stayed grateful. Because I knew the secret now. The universe wasn't separate from me, it was responding to me. To my energy, my belief, my alignment. And so, I continued to dream. To manifest. To create. Because I knew. But life has a way of testing you, even when you think you've mastered the game. Just as I reached the pinnacle of success, I faced my greatest challenge yet. It started with burnout. A deep, gnawing exhaustion that no amount of rest could fix. I had manifested my dream life, but in the process, I had neglected my own well-being. I was working back-to-back projects, flying between cities, and constantly pushing myself to do more. The pressure to stay relevant in the industry, to exceed my own past successes, weighed on me. One morning, as I prepared for a high-profile interview, I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back at me. My skin was pale, my eyes dull. The spark that had once fueled me was flickering. I knew something had to change. I stepped away. I retreated from the public eye, much to the shock of my fans and the industry. But I needed to realign. I traveled to a retreat where I could immerse myself in meditation, silence, and self-reflection. I reread Joe Dispenza's teachings, reminding myself that my external reality was a reflection of my internal state. For months, I disconnected from the world. I journaled, I meditated, I visualized. Not my career this time, but my health, my peace, my joy. And slowly, I returned to myself. I rediscovered the passion that had started it all, the love for storytelling, the joy of simply creating without expectation. When I returned, I did so on my own terms. I chose projects that fulfilled me, that aligned with my heart. I started a foundation to help aspiring actors who lacked the resources I had struggled to find in my early years. I found balance. And in that balance, I found something even greater than success. I found fulfillment. Because true manifestation isn't just about reaching a goal. It's about embodying the life you desire in every way, mind, body, and soul. And that's exactly what I did. Because I knew.